Uh, so welcome back. The new topic we are going to be treating here is called conditional statement. Conditional statement. Conditional statement. So we have our conditional statement to be three, which is the if statement. We have the else statement, else, and we have the else. So these are three conditional statements. And conditional statements are just statements that determine the control structure. And control structure directs the order of execution of a program. Whatever order you want the execution to be, the control statement is in charge of directing which should apply first, which should come first, which should not. So let's just have our variable 0, want y to be 5 and 1, and we can set our conditional if now and say if x is lesser than y, if x is lesser than y, then you have a colon, then line 133 would be the expression you want it to show. So let's say I want it to print something out, then I can just say print x is lesser than y. So I'm going to run this now. So we can see x is lesser than y. That is the result. Let's say we want to do our conditional if again and say if, now we're going to use in a string, if a string, let's say maybe or in orange. That means we are checking if there is or in orange. Then we have our colon after any conditional statement. If we need a colon to show that our condition has ended. Now we are left with printing the result. So if it's available, I'll say yes. So let me mute this and let's see yes. So yes, because OR exists in orange. So we have done for an integer and we have done for a string as well. So we can combine logical operators with our conditional statement. So how can we do that? So let's say our variable a to be 10, b to be 10 as well, and c to be, let's say, minus 10. So I can say if this is our conditional statement, if a is lesser than, if it is lesser than 0, and then this is our logical operator and b is greater than 0. We are done with the statements. So we put our colon. Then we have our whatever we want to print. Print a string down. Print what can we say? Okay, the numbers are greater than 0. So we have the numbers are greater than 0. Because remember, our AND has to check both sides if both conditions are correct. So if A is greater than 0, which is 10, and B is also greater than 0, which is also true, which is 10, then it's going to print the numbers are greater than 0, which is both numbers are greater than 0. So let's do another example, combining both our logical and conditional statement. So let's say if A is greater than 5, or so we are using logical or B is greater than 0, no, or B equals to, let's say B equals to 20. Then print. So now, up until now, we don't talk about this piece. So what if you should write something like this? At least, let me just finish this expression and I'll explain what I'm trying to get at here. At least one condition is true. So back to this expression. We can see that there's a red line here, and when I put my mouse on it, says expected indented block, which is generated. It's an error generated by Pylance. Pylance is just to evaluate our code even before running it, to pick out errors from our code. So what this is telling us is that we need an indentation. An indentation is a code block, a space where you are not expected to write anything. Let's say I run this program and let's see the error. The error is saying indentation error, expected an indented block. And what is an indented block? An indented block is a space that should follow a colon or a statement, a conditional statement. And how do you create an indentation? By just using one tab. You see the error is gone. Or you can use 4 spaces. Your space bar 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's your indentation. So we can run this code again. And it's going to tell us at least one condition is true, which is the first condition is true. So usually the system will give you an indentation, but let's say by mistake clean up the indentation. That is when you have it. The system already knows where the indentation needs to be, so it is advisable to just follow the system and not clear anything regarding indentation, so we will not have errors in your code. So we've done logical, we've added our logical and or. So essentially that's it. We can even add more than one conditional statement. Let's say I have something like, if A is greater than 0, if A is greater than 0, and and B is greater than 0, and C is greater than 0. So I'm combining all. So this is what I'm saying. After this last line and this column, it's going to indent it by itself. So I don't need to put a tab of 4 space bar. The number are greater than 0. So I'm going to mute this and run just the last. So as you can see, A is never greater than 0, which is because A is 10, and B, A is greater than 0, which is 10, B is greater than 0, which is 10, but C in this case is not greater, and all these conditions has to be true before you can print, because we are using AND. But let's say we have something like OR, then we are going to have something to print, or so you see. But because AND will check all the conditions and see that it is satisfied with all the conditions. So we're going to stop here. Thank you.